Legends aren't made overnight. Let's talk about the ones who changed the game forever. Welcome to Legends Brief. I'm Chase. Martial arts movies didn't just entertain us, they built entire cultures around discipline, respect, and the art of the fight. The legends on this list didn't just throw kicks on camera, they dedicated their lives to their craft, and the world felt it. Some of these names you already know, some might surprise you. Either way, by the end of this list, you'll have a serious appreciation for what it actually takes to become a martial arts movie legend. Let's get into it. Number 10. Jackie Chan. If you grew up watching action movies, Jackie Chan was probably your first introduction to martial arts on screen. What made Jackie different from everyone else wasn't just his skill, it was his creativity. The man turned everyday environments into weapons. A ladder, a shopping cart, a couch. Jackie Chan would find a way to make it part of the fight. He trained in the Peking Opera School from childhood, where he mastered acrobatics, martial arts, and performance simultaneously. That combination is what made his style completely unique. Part kung fu, part acrobatics, part pure comedy. Nobody before or since has blended those three things the way Jackie did. Films like Drunken Master, Police Story, and the Rush Hour series made him a global icon. And almost every stunt you see in those movies, he did himself. The injuries were real, the dedication was real, and the legacy is undeniable. Number 9. Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen is one of those names that the hardcore martial arts community has respected for decades, but mainstream audiences really caught up when Ip Man dropped in 2008. That film didn't just make Donnie a star, it reignited global interest in Wing Chun Kung Fu. What separates Donnie from the crowd is his range. He's trained in Wing Chun, Tai Chi, boxing, kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Muay Thai. He doesn't just play a fighter, he is a fighter. And that authenticity bleeds through every scene he's in. His choreography work is just as legendary as his acting. He's choreographed some of the most technically sharp fight sequences in Hong Kong cinema history. And for a whole generation of fans, his portrayal of Ip Man, calm, precise, and devastating, is the gold standard of martial arts movie performance. Number 8. Gordon Liu. Before Kill Bill. Before the internet made kung fu classics globally accessible, Gordon Liu was already a legend in Hong Kong cinema. His work in the Shaw Brothers studio films of the 1970s and 80s defined what a kung fu film could be. The 36th Chamber of Shaolin is his masterpiece. If you haven't seen it, stop this video and go watch it first. Liu plays a student who enters a Shaolin temple and works his way through 35 grueling chambers of martial arts training. The film is essentially a love letter to discipline, and Liu carries every frame of it. He trained his entire life in traditional kung fu, and it shows in his movement, precise, controlled, and powerful. Quentin Tarantino cast him in Kill Bill as a tribute to that legacy, which tells you everything about how he's regarded by filmmakers who actually know the history. Number 7. Cynthia Rothrock. Most of these lists are dominated by men. Cynthia Rothrock earned her spot on merit alone. Before Hollywood knew what to do with her, Hong Kong cinema figured it out fast. Rothrock was a 5-time undefeated world karate champion who held black belts in 5 different martial arts disciplines. When she landed in Hong Kong in the mid-80s, she became an instant star because her skills were genuinely that good. Films like Yes, Madam, and Magic Crystal showed audiences a female martial arts lead who didn't need to be softened or scaled back. She was the most dangerous person in the room, and the camera knew it. She paved the way for every female action star that came after her, and she did it at a time when that path didn't really exist yet. She's criminally underappreciated in mainstream conversation. Remember her name. Number 6. Tony Jaa. Tony Jaa hit the world like a freight train in 2003 when Ong Bak released and nobody was ready for it. Here was this quiet guy from rural Thailand, doing things on camera that looked physically impossible, and doing them with zero CGI, zero wires, just raw ability. Jaa practices Muay Boran, ancient Thai boxing, which is a more traditional and brutal predecessor to modern Muay Thai. His use of elbows and knees in fight sequences is unlike anything else in martial arts cinema. It's aggressive, relentless, and completely authentic. What makes his story even more compelling is where he came from. He grew up watching Van Damme and Jackie Chan films projected on a sheet in his village. He decided he was going to do that. No connections, no industry access, just obsession and discipline. He moved to Bangkok, trained under the legendary stunt coordinator Panna Ridikrai, and the rest is history. Ong Bak is a landmark film. If you haven't seen it, that's homework. Number 5. Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh's career spans 4 decades and 2 completely different eras of action cinema, and she dominated both of them. She started in Hong Kong action films in the 1980s, where she established herself as one of the most capable physical performers in the industry. Her work in Police Story 3, alongside Jackie Chan, showed she wasn't a supporting act. She was a co-headliner who could hold her own in any sequence. Then came Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which brought her to a global art house audience and won 4 Academy Awards. And then, decades into her career, Everything Everywhere All at Once made her a whole new generation's action icon and earned her an Oscar. That arc, from Hong Kong action star to Oscar winner across 4 decades, is simply unmatched. She's not just a martial arts movie legend. She might be the most complete actress action cinema has ever produced. Number 3. Jet Li. Jet Li didn't become a martial arts legend because of movies. He was already a legend before he ever stepped on a film set. At age 8, he began training in Wushu, a modern performance and competition form of Chinese martial arts. By 11, he had won his first national championship. By 15, he had won 5. He was so good that when Richard Nixon visited China, the Chinese government arranged for a young Jet Li to perform for him personally. Nixon was so impressed he offered to make Li his personal bodyguard. Li was a teenager. When he transitioned into film with Shaolin Temple in 1982, the martial arts world immediately understood what they were watching. This wasn't choreographed movie fighting. This was a genuine champion performing at the highest level. Films like Once Upon a Time in China, where he played the legendary Wong Fei Hung, cemented his place not just in cinema, but in Chinese cultural history. What set Jet Li apart from peers wasn't power or aggression, it was precision. His technique was almost impossibly clean. Every form, every sequence looked like it had been rehearsed 10,000 times because it had. He brought a legitimacy to martial arts cinema that changed what audiences expected from the genre. His Hollywood crossover with Lethal Weapon 4 and Romeo Must Die introduced him to American audiences, but real fans already knew. Jet Li was the real thing long before Hollywood figured it out. Number 2. Sammo Hung. If you know the name, you're already nodding. If you don't, this might be the most important discovery you make today. Sammo Hung is arguably the most influential figure in Hong Kong action cinema that casual Western audiences have never properly acknowledged. As a director, choreographer, producer, and performer, his fingerprints are on more classic martial arts films than almost anyone else in the industry's history. He trained alongside Jackie Chan at the Peking Opera School, and the two have been collaborators and friends for over 50 years. But while Jackie became the global face of Hong Kong action, Sammo was the architect working behind the scenes and on screen simultaneously. His physical ability was, and remains, extraordinary. At a heavier build than most martial arts stars, Sammo moved with a speed and agility that defied what audiences thought was possible. He weaponized the gap between his appearance and his ability, and audiences loved him for it. As a choreographer, he pioneered the modern Hong Kong action style, fast cuts, creative camera angles, realistic impact that every action movie since has borrowed from. He directed and choreographed Enter the Fat Dragon, Prodigal Son, and dozens of other films that are considered essential viewing by anyone serious about the genre. He also created opportunities for others. He produced Jackie Chan's early hits. He gave Yuan Biao his break. He mentored an entire generation of Hong Kong action talent. The industry as we know it was shaped in large part by this man. If Jet Li is the most technically perfect martial artist to ever appear on screen, Sammo Hung is the most important person to ever work in the genre. Those are 2 different things, and both matter enormously. Number 1, Bruce Lee. There was never going to be anyone else at number 1. Bruce Lee didn't just make martial arts movies. He changed what human beings believed was physically possible. He created an entirely new martial arts philosophy. He broke racial barriers in Hollywood at a time when that required genuine courage, and he did all of it before he turned 33. Because that's all the time he had, he developed Jeet Kune Do, a martial arts philosophy built on the idea that you should take what is useful from any style, discard what is useless, and add what is uniquely your own. That concept sounds simple now because Bruce Lee made it common thinking. Before him, martial artists were largely loyal to single disciplines. He looked at all of them and said, "Why limit yourself?" His physical conditioning was ahead of its time by decades. The training methods, the diet, the obsessive focus on speed and explosiveness, modern athletes and trainers are still studying what he figured out in the 1960s. There is genuine academic research about Bruce Lee's physical capabilities. That's not hyperbole. That's how far ahead he was. Enter the Dragon, Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon. These films didn't just perform well at the box office, they created the global appetite for martial arts cinema that every single person on this list benefited from. Without Bruce Lee, this genre looks completely different. Without Bruce Lee, Hollywood's relationship with Asian talent looks completely different. Without Bruce Lee, martial arts as a global cultural practice is smaller and less respected. He was a philosopher, an athlete, an actor, a filmmaker, and a movement, all at once, in a single lifetime that ended far too soon. The legend of Bruce Lee isn't nostalgia. It's a standard that the entire genre still measures itself against more than 50 years later. That's why he's number one. That's why he'll always be number one. That's our list. 10 martial arts movie legends who didn't just fight on screen, they changed the game entirely. Drop a comment and tell me who you think should have made the cut, or who your personal number one is. If you're new here, welcome to Legends Brief. We do this for every category, every genre, every era. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I'm Chase, and we'll see you on the next one.